Out of all of my years, I never expected to be here, specifically sitting in this chair on the Linux operating system, talking to you about how the Linux desktop, the year of the Linux desktop is upon us. Not because we want it, but because we have to. Unfortunately, we're still kind of screwed. But anyway, that's besides the point. I have to be careful over there. I don't want to look like Elon Musk for a second. Anyway, what's up, gang? How's it going? And if you don't know what's happening, if you don't know what I'm talking about, why, it's like, how the hell are we gonna get the year of the Linux desktop when, you know, a lot of things just don't really work on Linux? My child, you are probably older than me if you're watching a Linux video. Besides that, I actually want to let you all know, in case you didn't know for whatever reason, Windows 10 is going to stop receiving updates, more specifically, security updates. So if you're on Windows 10 and you don't know what to do, well, there's two options. You can either do the more sensible option and just get a Mac, or you can just switch to Linux. So as we're recording this video, 5 days away, we have to stop using Windows 10. Why? Because Daddy Microsoft said so, and let me tell you, you don't want to see Zaddy angry. A piece of my soul left me after saying that you better like the goddamn video right now. The reality is, there's going to be no more Windows 10. After this, all security updates are going to be finito, gone. So hackers can just easily access your systems. I know it's not like a 1, 2, 3, let's go. It's like as easy as that. But you don't want to become a target on the open web. And when you're on the open web, you're a fucking target no matter what. There are a couple things you can do. You can either just buy a new computer, which is not really something I recommend doing, especially if you just bought one recently and for whatever reason doesn't work with Windows 11. Buy a MacBook. I don't like Apple as it is, but they make good computers. I know. Insane. And also, if you're programming specifically, working on a Unix-based environment, top tier. I can say that for sure because I work in Linux. That's right. I hate myself and my free time. Or you can do the least sensible option and switch to Linux, which is something I highly recommend. Not because I want you to turn out like me. God forbid anyone else turns out like me. What I'm saying is I want you to, you know, be free from all this corporate bullshit and instead pull requests saying, hey, I don't think we should really use tab space. I think we should just use normal space. The fact that it's still real and the fact that I'm still joking is this really goes to show that the Linux community is not funny and we need new people like me. We need a new Linus Torvald. We need another asshole. He can't be the only one. When he dies, I'm saying when he dies, like he's gonna die in like the next year, like 20 years from now, probably. When he dies, it's gonna be fucking over, dude. Everyone's gonna be like depressed because Linux isn't interesting anymore. Who's gonna get angry at fucking formatting? Who? I feel like the more time we progress with Linux, the more we're really just gonna end up with like, hey, why do you follow that political ideology? It's like, no, I just want to use free software. The real reason why I want people to switch to Linux is solely because they deserve to be free. It's not only a free option, it's very easy to do now. And I'm not going to show you guys how to do it because there are more than enough tutorials how to do it. And I'm not going to go into detail why Linux is better or why Linux is worse or why Microsoft is still a fine choice despite everything. You just need to understand that it's what you use for a daily basis. And depending on the tools that you need or want, stay with whatever is comfortable for you. I want people to switch to Linux because this will make Microsoft be better. If people are actually, you know, taking the time to learn fucking Linux, the fucking Linux operating system, whether it be like Ubuntu, Debian, Mint, or whatever other bullshit Linux operating system you can think of, then yeah, you can do it. I don't really give a shit because it's none of my business. You can do whatever you want, whatever you're comfortable with. I just want people switching because that will incentivize Microsoft to be better. Whether you agree or disagree that Microsoft has a borderline monopoly on the operating system market is beyond me. But if you do look at the stats, you're going to realize that Microsoft owns roughly like, what, 80% of the market? Ah, okay, so I just did a quick Google and actually I was wrong. Sorry for any misinformation. I did not mean to do any of that. It's actually 72%. How the fuck is there not a case? I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like, yeah, there are like things you can do differently, but no. Just no. I'm talking as if there's like an actual solution to this problem. And believe it or not, the solution isn't just to switch to Mac OS, switch to Linux, because that's not a real solution. There are billions of computers right now, and almost all of them have Windows of some sort. This is not an easy 1, 2, 3 fix, unfortunately. So Windows 10 is dying. What do we do now? Where do we go? How do we solve this problem? What problem? The one that Microsoft created. Slight side tangent. I had to look at my phone at something, and I saw like a random news article recommended to me. And brother, I fucking hate EA. Well, the unfortunate reality to all this is there isn't really a real way to solve any of this. I'm not trying to sound like a boomer or a doomer or whatever. The saddest part about all of this is that this isn't a solution you can easily solve. Switching to Linux doesn't solve the issue because the issue is much bigger than a couple people. I'm talking, let's just say, minimum 3 million people switching to Linux. That's unfortunately not solving the problem. If you are genuinely interested in switching to Linux, there are so many tutorials, and hell, even I'm willing to do one and try to make it interesting because Jesus fucking Christ, dude, they're all boring. Even the one by Mudahar sucks. Dude, be a little more interesting. Fuck! The overarching issue to all of this is that Windows 10 is dying, and whether or not you liked Windows 10 or disliked it or even liked Windows 11 or hated Windows 11, you don't have a choice in the matter. You're just fucked. You need to either, switch to a different operating system, whether it be Mac OS, Linux, or whatever there is out in the world. Yeah, shout out to my BSD users. Shout out to the gremlins using HiQ, because what the fuck is wrong with you? Shout out to the single person using Redux OS as his daily driver. What's wrong with you? Anyway, and a huge shout out for my main man, the one who never let us down, the guy currently and still using React OS. The fuck is wrong with React OS? Might honestly be the most impressive and most beautiful operating system I've ever seen in my entire life, because just when you thought like Linux was behind in something, boy oh boy, you've never seen React OS. I'm not shitting on any of the devs who make any of these projects. These are amazing, and genuinely speaking, these are far beyond my own comprehension. And genuinely speaking, I am impressed. I just want to make that clear that I'm not actually making fun of anyone who uses these or develops these operating systems. All right, then, ABR, what are we supposed to do? How can we fix this problem? How do we solve this problem? There's only one way. There's only one thing I can think of. One thing. Nothing. There is actually not a single thing we can do to solve the problem. I'm not being negative here, but again, that number I threw out earlier was like 3 million people switching to Linux. That's nothing. That is literally no one. I know it sounds like a lot of people, but in the grand scheme of things, there are billions of computers out there. What is 1 million people to billions? I'm not going to sit here and tell you you can't do anything about it, that you, either these are your options and this and that, whatever, you have to suck it up. The best thing you can do is somehow convince people to switch to any other operating system, whether it be Mac OS and or Linux. I can tell you guys right now to switch to it, but only like 2 people will switch to it, and 90% of the people watching this video right now probably and already use some Unix-based operating system. So how do you convince people to, switch to a different operating system? So here's a cool thing. So when, like, let's say like your grandma, I'm not going to fix my camera. Let's say your grandma, your computer just breaks down and you don't know what to do. So you see, you just install Linux on it, and you're not going to believe what's going to happen next. She's going to use it like she did previously, because most Linux operating systems just look the same now, which is good. I'm talking specifically, mostly, the desktop environment. I know it's not Windows. I'm not a fucking idiot. I know there's a difference. I need to make this clear because people got mad at me because I compared KDE to Windows when I know they're completely different. I'm not fucking stupid. I know what this is. I know what I'm using. And I know how to program in C. The last part was a joke. Literally, I don't even know how to program in C all that well. I'm like kind of garbage. I just thought that was really funny. So now I ask you, the audience, people who are clearly smarter than I, and also more charismatic, because look at my sub count. You think that shit's been stagnant for years. How do you think we could actually get past this issue? Because using Windows 10 isn't the solution. I know it sounds crazy, but Microsoft has more of an incentive to make you switch to Windows 11 so it can steal more of your data and give you more ads. This wasn't even a joke. That's just why they want you to switch to Windows 11. And also, I should make this clear, you are not the problem if you're going to stick with Windows. There is no issue with sticking with Windows. Windows itself is a fine operating system, especially if you want to do specific things. If you need to do specific things, like it's not like, oh, oh no, unfortunately, Photoshop just doesn't work on Linux. What am I going to do? Well, you can either kill yourself or just, stick with Windows. And unfortunately, there's a drastic option, and then there's, killing yourself. I don't ever expect to be monetized my entire life, and I pray to God I never make it big, because knowing that one of my videos make over 3 million views, it's over. I'm never getting hired anywhere ever again. If you're not going to be switching to Linux, which is, again, a fine option, you could totally just use WinUtils, which helps you, remove a lot of the bloat and a lot of the spyware that Microsoft offers. As a matter of fact, here's what I recommend doing. I recommend downloading a portable version of the Windows 11 ISO, and then running that ISO through WinUtils to debloat it completely. It's going to be perfect. Like, I say this genuinely. It's a fantastic tool, and I highly recommend you check it out. But let's say now you want to switch operating systems. Let's just say Linux. What the fuck do we do? Okay, well, you see, there's a huge list of Linux operating systems, and what you're going to realize is that you're better off just pulling out your hair than, like, looking into each and every one of them. So a simple solution to me, I give you, is that you use a Debian-based distro. What distro is that? Don't worry, it doesn't matter. If you're just slowly getting into Linux, you really don't need to get into this unless you really, really want to. And someone's gonna get mad in the comments, and I already know, saying, oh, you need to know how to code or do configurations in the terminal. No, you don't. You really don't. You can get away with a lot of shit using GUIs or whatever alternatives. You can get away with so much. If you're familiar with Mac OS, there's already an app store in most distributions. The terminal is your friend. And the terminal is your friend, and thankfully, you don't ever have to open it, and that's okay if you don't want to. I'm being completely serious. If you're really just using Windows to just browse the web, do some light writing, homework even, you don't really need Windows. At my last year at college, I switched to Linux on everything, and I never looked back, dude. I didn't have to do anything on Windows. I realized this shit's ass. And I'm going to mention gaming, but people already talk about how good gaming is on Linux now. And speaking of which, performance-wise, since, Windows is taking up more of your performance than Linux, it actually runs games better in some cases, which is very weird. If you have an NVIDIA GPU, get fucked. This isn't a joke, like, get fucked. I have one, and let me tell you, this is like the 9th circle of hell. I'm on Catchy OS right now, or Catchy, I don't know how to pronounce it, it doesn't really matter, I don't fucking care, truthfully. And they had, oh my god, the way they deal with drivers is actually pretty good in my opinion, so I don't have to deal with any, like, serious issues, but performance-wise, it's never gonna be like an AMD GPU, which is very weird to say, considering that most of the time, NVIDIA GPUs are better. Yeah, up until the 50 series, dude, what the fuck is any of this garbage? There are tons and tons of Linux distributions I can list off right now. If you really, really want something simple, use something like Kubuntu. That's actually it. It's like, there's more options, but genuinely speaking, like, if you're really, like, new to this, you don't really need to go crazy. There's also Zorin OS as well, which are both very good, very noob-friendly. And, like, the feel of it is very familiar to what Windows is, so you'll never feel lost. Again, you're not running Windows, so things are going to be completely different, whether you like it or not. But what if you don't want Windows or Linux? Well, you better have money, bucko, because Mac OS, shit's bread. Though I will say this much, if you're, like, doing if you need to do actual work on your computer, and you really, really don't want to go with Microsoft, Mac OS is a great alternative. Like, genuinely speaking, like their stuff's expensive. I'm not gonna sit here and say for good reason, but for what they offer, it's very good. Some people are gonna look at me like I'm fucking crazy, but then again, I love just working in a Unix operating system, and I like to have something that not only just works, but is also completely efficient. I will say this much though: the Linux experience on laptop is so much better. Genuinely, so much better. So ABR, but what if there are not enough people fix it? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Well, the reality is that I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be I don't want to be like Chud over there and say like nothing ever happens, because something is happening. I know people are making it sound like switching to a new operating system is like gonna end the world. It isn't. But if you really want change or something better, you have to start doing something different. This isn't me saying Microsoft evil, you should switch. Unfortunately, most other places or most other operating systems aren't really much better. Whether or not you look at the fucking arguments they're having with Wayland or X11, you like, it's crazy. You're never gonna find sane and sensible people. You're never gonna find good people in the what is it called, systems programming space. Because unfortunately, the reality is we're all fucking crazy. I'm not calling out anyone specifically, except for the people behind Wayland. Guys, come on. I'm not like sitting here like pretending I can do a better job. No, I'm shit at this. But I know for a fact that if they like, put their heads together and stop arguing whether or not we should or should not have a main display, uh, genuinely speaking, we should already solve this fucking problem. I'm not saying this out of the goodness of my heart. I'm saying this for, I guess, semi-selfish reasons. I want Windows to be better. I want Mac OS to be better. I want Linux to be better. I want simply things to be better. I don't want AI slop in my computer. I don't want ads in my computer. I just want to open up my browser, edit videos, and program. That's all I ever want to do on my computer. There is nothing more and nothing less. There's a few drawing, of course, but in the end, all I want to do is watch videos, create videos, and program. The programming experience on Windows is fucking abysmal, and you cannot tell me otherwise. It's slow, distracting, and so fucking annoying. I literally had to completely remove Windows out of my system just so I can have a decent programming experience. And once I finally understood what it meant to have a decent programming experience, I could never go back. Because this is all I wanted from a computer, and I got it. I know what I want from a computer. What do you want from a computer? Do you want AI slop? Do you want ads shoved in your face? Do you want to be locked down into a specific ecosystem and you can never ever fucking escape it? It is your choice to make. I'm not sitting here acting like I'm gonna start a revolution. I'm not here to do that. I'm never gonna do anything like that. I'm telling you to think for yourself. You have the ability to do so much with your life, and yet you're sitting here watching this video till the end. Did you make your decision? Are you going to change your operating system or stick with Windows? Because in the end, my choice doesn't matter. It's all about you, the person watching this video. You need to make the choice that which you think matters. Do you want to take a chance and take a stand against the man, the machine? Or do you want to just keep going and hopefully something gets better? Both are valid options, and I'm not going to diss you for doing otherwise. For either or. Wow, I can really speak, can't you tell? So in the end, what do you use a computer for? Do you game? Do you work? Do you need to be on Windows? Do you need to be on Linux? Do you need to be on Mac OS? Because the reality is, if you really, really cared, you're going to realize that it doesn't matter which operating system you use. They all do the same shit in the end. I could still program on Windows. I could program on Mac too. I can edit videos even better on Windows. It's definitely record much better too. Hell, I stream on Windows. You can't, like, you legitimately can't tell me otherwise because fucking the streaming experience on Linux is fucking abysmal. Thank God I can at least record a video. So what do you use your computer for? You might not realize it, but we only do a couple of things on a computer every day. I got a little passionate, I got a little mean, but I am an asshole, and I'm gonna keep being a jerk because that's who I am, and I'm not your friend. Who are you people? You are strangers watching a strange man online. Fucking nerd. Anyway, that's it from me. A bit passionate, but hey, at least I'm back. Please, let me know what you use your computer for. It better be to watch me, because what the fuck else are you gonna do on a computer anyway? Because, dude, that's kind of fucking cringe. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I'm your favorite Zoomer who uses Linux, and I am not allowed to make this joke right now. But I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Big ol' adios, gay. Mers.